Hi everybody, it's Georgia Rose from Zencuda. How are you all doing today, preparing for Santa to come in a few days? We have one more show before the end of the year on next Monday, and I'm going to have Phoenix Green here from Phoenix Green Healing. He's been on my show once before, and he's coming back because I know all of you want to hear about the vibration of the universe. Phoenix and I are going to do a special show for our pets, actually, next week. We want to show you how you can do some healing on your pets and some Reiki for pets, and we're going to do a special meditation because we feel that sometimes our pets get a little bit neglected when we're running around, or maybe we're out of the house more than usual, and they need some love too. So how's everybody doing? I love to have you guys tell me in the comments. I got Janine and Monica on already. I'm going to share this beautiful show that we do every week. Whoops. We're going to do some astrology tonight. We're going to do some cards. Really don't have a lot planned, but I thought you guys could also carry me tonight and let me know what you want to do, what you want to hear. And we're going to do a little drumming. I don't know why, I just felt like if we can drum a little bit, then we get to kind of change our vibration a little bit, and I feel like the energy right now is a little bit heavy. There's a couple of reasons for that. I'm going to go into the astrology and let you guys know. But I also feel like we have, I don't know, just a little bit of heaviness. We should be getting actually a little lighter with the energy, but I also feel like a lot of things are passing over right now, from animals to people. I don't know if it's because the end of the year, because we're just in an eclipse season, but I hear so much and see so much on media about people passing over and animals passing over as well. So I want to talk a little bit about that today. If any of you have had an animal pass over or an animal that needs our prayers, definitely tune in next week because we are going to be doing that beautiful show with Phoenix Green all about our pets and how we can give them Reiki and things during the holiday as well. So I want to just share this show to the other site because some people have been telling me that they can't always find the show. And I want to make sure that we have that done. We can publish that. That's awesome. Going to go back to you guys, see who else is on now. Who do I have in the studio tonight on air? I've got with me Aaron. Hey, baby. How are you doing? And we are back to a mask mandate here in New York. And we're kind of a little ticky-offed about that. But, yeah, Elaine wants us to do some drumming. I know that's what Elaine wants to do. So first, let's talk about a little bit of the astrology, because there's actually some awesome things happening today that are maybe some of you are feeling. First of all, I don't want to forget to tell you that tonight, if you go out in the evening, early morning, it's the Gemini media shower. And every year that happens, and this year it's tonight and into the morning of the 14th. Tonight's the 13th. And you'll be able to see a beautiful meteor shower in the sky for those of you here in New York, especially upstate New York and in the northern hemisphere. For our southern people, you may not really be able to see it very much, and you might not see it too much if you're in a city and you have a lot of light pollution. But if you can get to some kind of a beach or an area where there's more, not so much light pollution, you'll be able to see a beautiful meteor shower tonight. And especially if it's not too cloudy, you'll be able to see that. So a couple of things that are happening right now today. We've got some planets that transitioned to other signs in the zodiac. Mainly today we have Mercury going into Capricorn, and we have Mars moving out of Scorpio into Sagittarius. So if you're a Sag or a Sag rising, you've got Mercury in your sign right now, and that means a lot of energy in your mental head, a lot of energy in your thought process and in communication. So that's going to light up for you whatever house Sagittarius is in. And all of us, whatever house Sagittarius, and will be feeling a little more communicative. This energy with Mercury in Sagittarius is a little bit easier than in Scorpio. Mercury in Capricorn. Mercury in Capricorn is a little bit easier than it was in Sagittarius. I'm sorry, erase that, erase, delete. So Mercury is going into Capricorn, Mars is going into Sagittarius. So look and see where Sagittarius is in your chart, what house that's in. Because what's going to get lit up with Mars in that house is our drive, our ambition. Mars is putting the gas in the car so that we can move forward. So wherever you have Sagittarius in the chart, whatever house that is, that'll be the area where you really want to start making some strides and start setting some goals and start looking more towards your future plan for 2022. Mercury moves into Capricorn from Sagittarius. So Mercury, wherever Capricorn is in your chart, Mercury will be there now. And Mercury in Capricorn is actually a lighter energy than it was in Sagittarius in regards to it's not as quick. Mercury in Sagittarius is an energy that makes us want to do things faster and makes us want to dig for the truth in a mental capacity kind of way. When Mercury goes into Capricorn, it's more methodical. It's more putting things in a row, getting your ducks in a row, connecting things intellectually. But it can also be anger. It can also be a little bit of lust. So when that happens, you want to kind of calm those things down. But all in all, what's going to happen is we're going to find a little bit of restlessness, especially with Mars and Sag and Mercury and Cap. It's going to make us want to do more than we really should be doing now. When I gave my forecast for the month, I was telling you guys that you really should use December as a planning month, a month where you're getting everything ready and building. Mars in Sagittarius and Mercury in Capricorn is a building energy. It's an energy where you want to, lay your dominoes, stack your foundation, and then when those planets move into the following signs come January or so, that's when you're going to want to really start acting and put your plan into activation. So this is still a really good planning month, but it is a planning month where you're not going to be super focused on the big picture. You're going to be thinking more about your process to get there. So take that in whatever houses Capricorn and Sagittarius is in your chart. Also, Mercury in Capricorn is going to make it a little bit easier for us to focus. This last month or so, if you felt yourself a little bit more scattered, you're going to find that with this energy changing today, you'll have a little more focus, a little more clarity will come in as well. Both planets are moving into signs of fire and earth. So Mars is in fire in Sagittarius, which gives it some gas, some power. And Mercury is going to earth from a fire sign, which means that Mercury going into earth is going to actually give us that ability to plant our feet and be more stable in the plans that we are building on and making right now. So all good energy. Before I get off the astrology, I just want to talk about a couple of things. First of all, this is an energy where you may want to start things, but you're going to kind of maybe not finish them. So make sure that you really have a plan in place and you really use some discipline to stick to it, and really be careful of procrastination, because as much as we're supposed to be in the planning stage, not doing those plans and not making the calendar or setting up your bricks or whatever your foundation is, not doing that can really become detrimental in the beginning of 2022. It'll make you start scrambling and doing some, back trotting. And you really don't want to do that. This is the month you really want to set your plans in motion. Even if you lay out your whole year, we can always change things, always adapt. That's what alchemy is for. But at the same time, you want to have some kind of a paint with a broad brush, fill in the dots later kind of place where you're going. You need a target in this energy. And if you don't have your target, it could really lead to some confusion later on. So build your plans, make your targets. That's what this month is for. And the other thing I want to talk about before we get off on the astrology is we have a full moon coming in December 18th. That's in 4 or 5 days, and it is at 27 Gemini. So that is going to bring in the balance of Sagittarius and Gemini, which is the lower mind and the higher mind. So when this full moon happens, it's going to set off some energy that is going to make us want more. That's what Sagittarius does. It's a communicator. It's an attitude. It's a sense of wanting to take on something big and wide. But at the same time, because we have these other energies, we don't want to overreach. We don't want to overinflate. We don't want to overindulge. So be really careful, especially with that full moon coming in a few days before the major holiday. Something that's building within us gets expressed. And I have a feeling it may get expressed towards Christmas Eve. That's when we have our last Saturn-Uranus square, the last of 3 from 2021. So this is an energy where you want to try to go into the more gentle side of things. Try and go into that, Mercury and Capricorn thought process of strategy. because this energy around the full moon can be something where something we just feel compelled to let something out. And you might want to wait on that, even though a lot of times that can also bring healing to us. It may be a very eruptive kind of an energy. So over the next 2 weeks, from the full moon to 2 weeks following that, like December 18th to the rest of the month, you will feel that. You will feel that compulsion to let it all out, something that's building within you. There's an emotion. Ideals are very strongly felt. So, perhaps you want to kind of take a few steps back, because we've also got a very big moon square Neptune coming in, and that's illusion. So what you think you have to get rid of, let out, express, may not be the right energy. You may not have all the details you need. You may think it's your truth and you're so stabilized in it, and then you come to find out, oops, I made a big mistake. So our ideals can be misguided in this energy, and yet we are going to be so compelled to express those ideals. So I always say, when you're not sure what to do nothing, and that could be a good month for this. Stay home, plan your stuff, plan your strategy, write in your journal, make your plans for 2022, share them with no one yet, and then when January comes, you can have, a lot of your homework done. All right? And also Venus is going retrograde. We talked a lot about Venus and Cap the last few weeks. With Venus going retrograde at 26 degrees of Capricorn, this is us wanting to commit to what is valuable to us. As I said, this Christmas and New Year's, you're going to see a lot of engagements and things like that. And it's not really the best time to be doing that, because there's something that you don't know. You don't know the whole story. There's something yet to be revealed. Something's going to come out when Venus goes forward and goes direct. And that's not till March 3rd. So you really don't want to buy that engagement ring. You really don't want to make that commitment until after March. And I know a lot of you are going to be compelled to do it. You're not going to listen. But this is a time when the common themes are reassessing, rethinking. You want to prepare and practice, because things may not go as planned with the next few weeks. So you want to really be methodical, be strategic, do your homework, do your research, decide what you're going to do, and then put it aside and sit on it for a little bit. That is my advice to you, okay? So a lot of energy going on. A lot of us are feeling a little bit heaviness over the holidays, and that's why I wanted to talk about drumming, all right? Let me check my comments, because I know sometimes you guys have questions. Hey, Marilyn. Hey, Heidi. Hey, Sarah, Elaine, Janine, and Monica, Aaron. I said hi before. Joanne is watching. They found me. Hey, Joanne, you found me. Joanne has trouble finding me. I was going to tag her if she didn't come on. Okay, so this is my ceremonial drum. Those of you who have been to live events with me know and have seen this. I've used it on cruises that we do, spiritual cruises on the bay here. I've used it in Reiki healing. I've used it in energetic work. This drum definitely has a story. I hope you guys can all see the beautiful drawings of the Thunderbird on my drum. And also it has on the sides of it a lot of symbolism. I have the sun, the moon, the Thunderbird again, all kinds of indigenous symbols. And so I want to talk to you guys about your drums. If those of you who don't own a drum yet are looking to purchase a drum and are looking to find a drum that's for you, this drum was a drum that called to me. My shaman, Al, over here on Long Island, he is in a place called the Sacred Stone. He's in Bohemia. So for those of you who want to look him up online, who are not on Long Island where I live in New York, you can look up Sacred Stone, Al Maldonado. He's an amazing shaman. The man is absolutely pure love. I know a lot of my followers who are in the area where I live have been recommended to him by me. Al is a healer and an amazing, amazing human being and light worker. And I was in his store looking for a drum, and I came across this one. And this particular drum was really, really, really high up on a shelf. And Al was showing me other drums in the store. And I turned and I saw that drum, and it called to me. I just knew that was the one I wanted. And I turned around and I said, "What about that one?" And he said, "Oh, that's not for sale." And I said, "Oh, come on, I think that's my drum." So he reluctantly took it down. He told me the story of his brother. And apparently, I knew Al to be the shaman Al for many, many years, and I never thought of him before anything other than that. It's funny how when we find people who are so unbelievably divinely connected, we just assume they've been all that way always. And so while that might be true, Al discovered his gifts after his brother had died. And he said to me, this drum is really a drum that reminds me of my brother, and the Thunderbird that's been painted on it, I believe Al painted this, is really in honor of my brother. He said, I wasn't spiritual, and my brother died. And when I was, looking at some of his things after his death, he had the story of the Thunderbird, and I realized, he was always the spiritual one. And I started reading some of his things, and I realized that I have a connection to spirituality through my brother's death. So this Thunderbird drum is very sacred to me. And so I said to him, well, the funny thing about you telling me this story, Al, is that I have been in my meditations seeing Thunderbirds, and recently just read the folklore of the Thunderbird and all. And so I said, I really think this is my drum. And so he sold it to me. He blessed it. He did a ceremony with me. And he opened the energy of this beautiful drum. So about 2 weeks later, I had never used the drum. I took it home and I actually hung it on the wall in my beautiful space that I keep for meditation and healings in my home. And I was scheduled to do a spiritual cruise on the Great South Bay here on Long Island. I rent out a boat, and we was a full moon, and we were going to be doing a ceremony and healing and everything. And I took the drum with me. I had never really drummed for anyone before, but I said, you know what, I'm going to take this drum because it's calling to me so much, and I feel it in my chakras. I feel the energy of it. So I grabbed the drum on my way out, got to the boat. We had about, I don't know, quite a few people on the boat that night. It was a pretty big crowd. And the boat gets underway. We're in beautiful waters, and it's twilight and the sun setting. And I start to drum, and everyone is up on the upper deck in a circle around me. And I hear someone say, oh my God, look. And I'm in the zone, I'm drumming, and we look up in the sky, and there in the sky, the clouds were forming a Thunderbird. The clouds looked exactly like a Thunderbird. And so that was confirmation for me that this really was my drum. And since then, I've used it in a lot of ceremony, a lot of healings, and the energy of it is so amazing. And I've done a lot of healing with it. When I drum and I'm in my own personal space, a lot of times sound will come out from me, and I know it's a chakra clearing, or I'm clearing energy from past or even past lives. Vibration is very important in our healing. I'm actually doing a Reiki evening, a healing evening locally for some breast cancer patients, and my very good friend Yvonne is going to be bringing her singing bowls, because we can raise the vibration in the room with the energy of music and sound. And if you ever think about music, people say, oh, well, this moves me. Yes, because the music is moving energy. Music moves energy. If you put on a beautiful piece of music and all of a sudden you feel uplifted, it's because the music moved you. And when Bob Bellucci was on the show a few weeks ago, we talked a lot about that. So I want to do some drumming tonight, and I want to tell you at home, if you have instruments, if you have drums or bells or any kind of instrument, keyboards, guitar, whatever you want to play along with, there's no rhythm or cycle to drumming. You do what moves you. And when you're in a drum circle, a lot of times it will sound like a cacophony, or like everyone's off beat. And then all of a sudden everyone will take on a beat. And it's because our vibration is syncing. Those rhythms will heal us. A lot of times they'll bring something out in us that needs to come up to the surface. So I'm going to do a little drumming for you tonight. If anybody has any questions about drumming, just let me. Yes, Suzanne was on the boat that night. Yep. Oh my gosh, I didn't know you were in Oregon. Hello. Hope you're not there permanently. But anyway, if you are, good luck. But we miss you. So I'm going to do a little drumming. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if I'm going to feel energy coming in from some of you, maybe with instruments. But certainly at home, what I would say to you is to use it as a meditation. I'll probably drum for about maybe 10 or 15 minutes or so, and then we'll talk a little more, and I'll do some cards for you guys and things. When I start to drum, I always call in my guides and my angels, surround me with light. I also will call in any kind of spirits or energies of the light that want to come in and bring us a message this evening. I feel Archangel Metatron already coming in. He's a very beautiful and powerful angel that I believe we all need right now in our lives. Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, who always brings me such beautiful, clear messages into my life. So I'm going to start drumming, and what I'm going to ask everyone at home to do is pull out your instruments if you have them. For those of you who don't have an instrument, simply relax, maybe close your eyes, go with the rhythm of the drum. Sometimes the drum will bring you on a journey. I'm just going to allow spirit to direct me, and I'm going to go into my own zone, and hopefully you guys will feel something from it. For some reason I've been asked to pull a couple of cards now. Okay, we're going to have this little celebration. So I'm just going to start drumming, and at home, again, drumming can be healing. You can drum to get rid of emotion. You can drum to ask for a message, whatever really resonates with you. So just use it as a meditation. Sometimes if you feel any discomfort or something that may even be slightly annoying, it means it's just an energy that wants to be released. Let it flow through you. So what I'm probably going to do is next time do that in the studio so that the sound's a little bit better, because we have a full studio in the front of Paradise Studios. So I don't know if anybody felt anything came up for you during the drumming. Let me know in the comments. And of course, if anybody wants to call on the show tonight, Bobby will put that number on the screen for us. So what did you guys think of that? I want to try to do a drum circle. Thank you, Regina. I want to try and do a drum circle, like remote like that, so that you guys can play along, get a few people in here in the studio and see, what we do with that. I thought it would be really cool. So we're experimenting a little bit tonight, and we'll see where that goes. So if you want to call in for any reason, you have any questions, just want to talk about the energy right now, astrology, whatever, you can call in the show at 516-945-9090, 9099, 516-945-9099. I have to tell you, I just love my drum, because every time I do any kind of drumming on that particular drum, it just seems to really give my energy a boost. I don't know if it releases stale energy or what, but I always feel so good afterwards. So love to hear how you guys feel. So I am actually going to do a reading right now for our general space. Janine said it relaxed her. Great. Because I feel like when we're listening, we're getting out of our heads a little bit. That's the other reason why music kind of changes our mood for us a little bit. Hey, Jackie's on here. I got to read that. Oh, see that? Your doggy. Yeah, Sparky loves the drum actually too, so that's really cool. I'm glad to have Jackie on. For those of you who are yogis, Jackie is my yoga person. I love Jackie. I've been going to her studio on and off for about 10 years, and I have to tell you a funny story, because you're going to appreciate this, Jackie, because I haven't been there in a little while, and I had a shoulder injury, which kind of precipitated me not doing a whole lot. And the other day I woke up and I started feeling really guilty about not working and doing my yoga, because I don't do yoga just for the physical aspect of it. I do yoga because that's really part of my spiritual devotion to going into a higher consciousness. And most of the time I'm on the mat for things in my head and in my heart and in my soul. So I finally realized, in being truthful with myself, when we had all these planets in Sagittarius, I know Jackie just had a birthday in Sagittarius. Can you guys hear me? My voice is going in now. Oh. Now can you hear me better? My microphone was falling off. Sorry. So I was saying that I hadn't been to yoga in a while, and Jackie Marson is my yoga instructor. She's more than that. She's a huge mentor in my life. If any of you are looking for a good community, Long Island Yoga in Babylon, go see Jackie and the girls there. So I realized just a few days ago, and I'm going to share this, and this is a little bit personal, but I'm going to share this with the audience because I think it'll help you guys. So I wasn't going to yoga, and I was really going for a little while, and it was going great, and then I stopped going, and I love being on the mat. It gives me so much insight into myself. It's not just a physicality. It's really a whole spiritual practice for me. And then I realized the reason why I stopped going had nothing to do with the shoulder injury I had. The reason I stopped going was because I didn't want to do my work. And no matter how elevated and conscious we are in this world, and we're trying to raise our consciousness and fight our shadows and our demons and bring ourselves to another level, sometimes we think we're doing all this great stuff, and maybe we are. But then there's a place we go where it's really deep. And for me, that place is on that mat at Long Island Yoga. And so I avoided it for a good month and a half because I just didn't want to do my work and deal with some things that were coming up for me. So when that happens to you, and it will happen to all of us from time to time, no matter how elevated we seem, when that happens to you, go into acceptance and realize that you are having this beautiful human experience and that maybe you just needed time. And I think that we all have to take life in bites we can chew. And sometimes we just can't do all the work because we'll choke on it, And so I had to take that little bit of time. So I went back to yoga the day before yesterday, I think it was, and had a great session. And of course, things came up, and that's why I go. So, sometimes we have to be a little bit gentle with ourselves in our timing, but at the same time make sure that we're still really committed to our spiritual practices. So that was my little yoga story. So, oh, I love you, Jackie. And Jackie is just one of these people that will always be in my life. And she pops up at exactly the right moment. And I always say she's, and so many people have heard me say this already, there's a whole list of people who are the army of angels that saved my life. And Jackie is definitely one of them. So love you. Hope to see you soon, Jack. So yeah, and Sarah is saying that her little granddaughter underfoot and still felt it. See, yeah, she enjoyed it too. So I encourage all of you, go buy a drum. It could be any kind of a drum or any kind of instrument and just like let it rip. Like I'm not a musician, but I definitely like to hear the sounds, you know, and it'll move energy for you. So I'm going to pull a few cards for the general energy right now and where we're headed for the rest of the month of December, because there's a lot of heavy astrology coming in. So first I'm going to pick this beautiful soul card. This is a sign of communication. This fits so much. I don't know if Bobby can go camera down the table to see a card. There we go. He's such a great producer. I love Bobby. So I'm going to bring him on camera one day because he's amazing. So anyway, so this is a great card to pull because while we have this full moon coming in Gemini on the 18th, I have to say that's all about communication. And this card for me is all about, like, look at this energy coming in. And it's actually, if you can see it on camera, it's actually like a light being kind of an energy that is coming into the lips of this beautiful person. And so almost looks like Buddha. And so to me, this represents communication, messages, and Gemini. In a Gemini full moon, we will get a lot of messages. The problem is with moon squaring Neptune, they're going to be a little bit foggy, a little bit hazy. So when the messages come in around that full moon on the 18th, really do your diligence, do your discernment, because that's going to be a really tough moon to see things clearly. So I'm going to pick a few tarot cards. I have my crystals here. Okay, we've got the Magician, which is the Pisces card. And we got Jupiter's going to be going into Pisces from Aquarius soon. So we've got the Magician and we've got the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is that beautiful fire sign, Sagittarian energy that we are still in. We're going to be in Capricorn energy soon, around the solstice. I'll talk about that on the next program because we actually have Phoenix Green coming on next Monday. And right around the solstice, which is the 20th, next Monday is the 20th. Solstice, of course, is the 21st. That's why we chose to do that beautiful healing show with Phoenix and honoring our pets. But getting back to the Queen of Wands card, this is a card of a fire energy. It's a Sagittarian energy. It can be an Aries energy and things too. But when I'm seeing the Magician, which is a Pisces card, and the Sag card around this beautiful card of communication, what does that mean? Well, this Pisces card, you see the infinity symbol over the head of the Magician in the Tarot. That's symbolic of Pisces is all about the impossible being possible. However, the issue, the lower energy of Pisces is that confusion, that clarity. It's ruled by Neptune. So this is a card that's almost like giving us a foreboding or a reminder to really look deeply at things and try and connect with spirit for the clear message, for the clarity. During transits like this, I have a habit of praying to Archangel Gabriel because Archangel Gabriel is the angel of clear messages. So bringing in that beautiful copper color and copper-like energy of Archangel Gabriel will help us during this full moon to be more clear in our communication. And then the Sagittarius energy is an energy of truth. So this is showing the polarity of the Gemini Sagittarius kind of polar axis. When you have the moon in Gemini and the sun in Sag, it brings us wanting to dig and deep dive for the truth, but at the same time, Gemini can be a chaotic energy. It can be an energy of too much information overload. So it can make us not see the truth. So I feel like this is a message from Spirit reminding us, almost like warning us, don't act until you have all the facts, kind of a thing. So if any of you have situations like that going on, here's the Temperance card, which is again about balance, and the Page of Wand. Pages are activity, wands are activity. So this is really coming on this next week, I would say, especially up until the 24th, is a time when you really want to balance what is true with what is my illusion, going into illusion and finding the truth, digging deep for it before we communicate, having that balance of as above, so below, what's happening on earth Am I connected to spirit in order to discern what's really happening here? And again, the wands, action, action, action happening. Tower card, if we act too hastily, we can really lose some things that are valuable to us. And don't forget, with Venus going retrograde in the sign of Capricorn, and also that's going to be conjuncting Pluto now, that is all about the things we value. That is all about making sure not only do we protect and love the things we value, that we also start to discard and disintegrate the things that are not of value to us, so that we have more energy to integrate what is of value. So think about those two words, disintegrate and integrate, right? What is disintegrating in your life? Rightly so, so you have more energy to integrate the things that are of value to you. And the other part of that Venus in Capricorn going retrograde, conjuncting Pluto energy, is what is valuable about you? What do you bring to the world that is valuable? And how are you going to plan and build a foundation to bring that out in some way into the world? Whatever that value is, maybe it's what you do for a living, maybe you have tremendous creativity and you're an artist, maybe you're a healer, maybe you're a great mom, maybe you're a great partner. Wherever your value is, what is your plan? What is your strategy for bringing more of that value to the world to make yourself of higher value and your life well used? So those are the energies, and I have to say that these cards are definitely showing us that confirmation of that energy. Whenever I do, and King of Pentacles is Capricorn, and we've got all this energy in Capricorn right now. So whenever I do tarot, I always link it with the astrology in some way. And that's why when you come to me for a reading, whether it's a psychic reading or an astrology reading, I always ask for the birth date, because the energy in the chart really helps me interpret what the cards are going to be. And that's why they're linked hand in hand. If you really study tarot, tarot is very, very linked to the planets and the stars and the astrology and the zodiac signs. So I'll pull a couple of cards for some people out in the audience. And, this is the kind of show that I'm really not being themey. I'm kind of doing a lot of different things. It's probably the Gemini full moon coming in. So Elaine says she's always been drawn to flutes and drums. Yeah, those wind instruments I play a lot of, and you would probably love him too if you don't already play him. There's a German artist named Duder, and he is so amazing. I play him in my home all the time. I love his music. It's just so beautiful. I use it a lot in my healing sessions as well. So I'm going to pull a card for Joanna Maya. She's requested one, and I know that she has been going through a little bit of health issues and some things this year. Yeah, I'm sorry about the mic issue. It was falling into my sweater. See that? So Sarah, your granddaughter really loved that music. There are things like on YouTube, you have drum journeys you can do. On YouTube, there's all kinds of shaman drum journeys and things like that. And shamanic journeying is usually done with drums, and it's really, really beautiful. It brings you very, very deep into the things that you need to process through your system and through your chakras. So Joanne, this card is for you. Hey Jessica, how are you? Okay, so I'm going to pull a card for Joanna Maya. Oh, Joanne, you got the moon card. These are emotions. So if you found yourself being a little bit more emotional lately, this card is showing you to accept those emotions. What I always tell people is don't try to repress or squash any kind of emotions. Like even if it means you have to remove yourself from a room or take a few minutes or a time out or shut the phones and the TV and all the stuff off for a day and just go to bed. You have to allow your emotions to move and be expressed. When we don't, that's when we really get into trouble. So the moon card is a card that reminds us about that. This is also, whenever I pull this card is number 18. I had a very, very good friend who was a friend of mine for over 30 years named Stephen. Whenever I pull this card, it's usually the name Stephen is somehow associated with the person. So Joanne, if you have anyone that is, named Stephen or Stephanie, that's really coming into this reading strongly. For some reason, I feel like if that name does resonate with you, it's an energy that you need to maybe take a few steps back from. You're too involved, and I feel like you're getting, I don't know the word to use. I don't want to use the word pushy, but you're getting, because it's not really like that. It's just you're getting too involved. Too much attention is being given to this person. So if that name resonates with you, that's definitely coming through loud and clear, Joanne. Steve, Stephanie, Steph, any derivative of that name you want to take a time out from, okay? And if you have any confirmation that you could give me, that would be great. Sarah says, yeah, she was thinking of doing that with her her granddaughter. I would definitely do that, you know. Kids especially, like if you let them jump around a little bit, you know, it releases so much energy from them. It's great. So what else did I want to talk about? That was about it. I'm really excited to have Phoenix on the show tonight. So does anybody have any questions? You can call in if you want. My comments are a little bit delayed. So yeah, it was great to get back. Sounds fine here. Got that mic fixed. Thanks for telling me about that. Yeah, music always relaxes us because this drum has amazing tones. The name of the place I bought my drum in Bohemia is the Sacred Stone. I'll give you the number after the broadcast, Elaine, because you really want to call before you go there. Al Maldonado has been one of my shamans for years. He's just pure love. I love him. He fixes me up, you know, just being in his presence is great, okay? And it's a Sacred Stone in Bohemia. Hi, Lori, how are you doing? We've got a lot of people on tonight. This is great. Please, please, everyone, you must tune in next Monday when Phoenix is here, because that's going to be really great. So I'm going to actually pick a couple of cards for my friend Elaine, because Elaine usually reads me. And tonight, Elaine, we're reading you, baby. I feel like Elaine is very happy lately. I feel like your energy is high, like, woo, happy. Things happening. Things are happening. Things are moving along for you. And if you're still on, Joanne, can you just give me a confirmation on that name, Stephen, Stephanie, or Steph, because that's going to make me a little cray-cray. Okay. Joanne, Elaine. Elaine, Ace of Cups. See, I'm feeling your happy energy here. Whatever conflicts you had, especially with family, children, siblings, they're in the past. You're tranking now. I feel like you've got a really new beginning is coming in for you in a really awesome way. Like everything is falling into place for you. And you're lighter, you're happier, like you're purging stuff. Amazing. I want to say there's more to come. I want to say there's things that are coming. Usually when I get this card, I know you know the cards, Elaine, if Bobby can give me a camera on the table. I just got, you know, the Two of Swords. And usually that means something hidden, something being revealed. But I feel like in this reading, Elaine, it's good news. Like you're getting more good news. So take that with you. I feel like things are changing for the better for you, and things are really, really becoming lighter and lighter. Yeah, look at this beautiful soul card that I just picked for you. Bobby, are you over there so you can give me a camera shot? I feel like I'm on like real life, I don't know. I'm just so weird lately. I need a break. My energy's crazed. Okay, here I am. So this soul card for you, Elaine, as soon as I pulled it, I felt it. Do you remember, Elaine came to one of my events on the boat this past summer. And I gotta say, I felt, when I came over to you, I just knew you were ascending. You were like really, your energy has been like really wild for a while. And this card, if you can see it up close, it's this beautiful, almost like high priest or someone, which you know you're connected, you do readings and things. It has this amazing energy that almost looks like the Merkaba of Metatron. And when I started in sacred geometry, when I started to drum, I said I felt Metatron coming in. He was for you. Definitely buy a drum, use a drum, do something, listen to drumming on YouTube. Because Elaine, I feel like that's going to open you up so much. And I feel like there's some really heavy, and I don't mean heavy in a negative way. I mean like powerful is the word I should use. Not heavy, powerful energy that's coming in to open you and give you more gifts than you've ever had before. You're just hitting the tip of the iceberg now. You really have some amazing clairvoyant powers coming to you. So take that with you. And I also have a lot of copper colored energy in this card, which leads me to remember about Archangel Gabriel, who I also was just speaking to, bearer of clear messages. So you're really in a great place in your life. The drumming is going to help you open and connect. This beautiful energy of Metatron and the Merkaba and powerful, powerful clairvoyance is coming into you. Things will be revealed. Relationships are renewing in your life. I feel a lot of movement in your life. The past is really in the past now. You're like, it's a whole new embarkation of a whole new energy for you, Elaine. So I hope that you get that, because you definitely, I know you're feeling it. I can just tell. Yeah, this is going to start to come in for you in a big way. I also know that you are planning a physical move, and I feel like when you do, the way I'm feeling the energy is like this wide open space of like you just have more spaciousness in your life, and it's a fabulous, fabulous move for you with that. Like just like everything just opens for you. And, let this be a lesson to all of us, because sometimes we get in a place and we're just stagnating. And I need to hear this tonight as well. We're just stagnating. And as soon as we just make one movement, and this is very parallel with yoga as well, just a little micro movement changes everything. And that's how life is. Sometimes we don't have to make a grand gesture. A small little adjustment or micro movement in our life will absolutely bring us to a place where everything just becomes more spacious and more open and more filled with love. So that is my show for this evening. Please, please, please tune in next Monday at December 20th, 7 o'clock here on Strong Island. You can find me on Zencuda Official on Instagram, and of course Zencuda by Georgia Rose on Facebook. And please, if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I'm trying to get enough subscribers on there to do lives with you guys, and then it'll go so well. So please hop over there. I am putting a lot of videos on there this week, and we're going to have all the shows on there. Also updating Zencuda.com. You're going to see a lot more blogs on there instead of Facebook, so you're going to have to go there for all the info. Love you guys. This is the energy I source my life from, so make sure you tune in and come into the soul space with us next Monday. Thanks so much for tuning in. See you guys then. Bye-bye.